It's already unsettling to see a man breaking into a home on security footage, but what makes this case even more shocking is who the intruder was. The man caught on camera creeping through the kitchen was no random burglar. It was 49-year-old Sergio Guardia, a pastor at the massive Thomas Road Baptist Church in Lynchburg, Virginia, a megachurch with 24,000 members. Marie Columnus and her husband had been close with Guardia and his wife for years.
You would never think a pastor would do anything bad to anyone.
But after her divorce, she says the pastor's behavior started getting weird. Still, nothing could have prepared her for what she saw in that surveillance video.
He started just showing up to my house. My kids wouldn't be home. It'd be in the middle of the day. And he would just show up and bring me groceries. He did that a handful of times. Sometimes I would get home and he'd be right on my porch. So I couldn't even avoid him.
While she was away for the weekend with her two young ones, Guardia broke into her home, not once, but twice. By the second time, Marie had seen enough. She called the cops, and within moments, officers showed up with weapons drawn, even bringing in a police dog to track him down. But Guardia was already gone.
I just couldn't process that it was Sergio. I was watching the live feed of him entering my daughter's bedroom.
It wasn't long before he was caught and hit with charges of burglary and stalking. So much for thou shalt not steal. In the morning of January 2, 1978, a woman in California picked up her phone to hear a man's voice on the other end asking for someone named Ray. She didn't know Ray, so she told him he had the wrong number and hung up. Back then, wrong numbers were pretty common. After all, dialing a rotary phone was a slow and easy way to make mistakes. She didn't think much of it and went on with her day, but that night, the phone rang again. It was the same voice, but this time, something was different. Instead of politely asking for Ray, the man was threatening her life.
Hello? Hello?
At first, it might have seemed like a sick prank, but as it turned out, this wasn't just some random creep. This man was later identified as the Golden State Killer, one of the most infamous and elusive serial killers in American history. From 1974 to 1986, the Golden State Killer terrorized California, wreaking havoc in multiple counties: Sacramento, Ventura, Santa Barbara, and Orange. What made him so terrifying wasn't just the number of his crimes, but the cold, calculated way he carried them out. He didn't attack randomly. He stalked his victims, learning their routines, memorizing their house layouts, and planning escape routes before ever striking. In some cases, he'd break into their homes before the attack, unlocking windows, disarming weapons, and even planning the restraints he'd use later. But the worst part of all were the phone calls. They weren't just threats. They were part of his twisted ritual. These calls, like the one that woman received, were psychological warfare. He'd break his victims down mentally long before he ever showed up at their door. When he finally did arrive, he moved with chilling confidence. He tied his victims up, took his time, and even cooked in their kitchens, acting as if he had all the time in the world. Over the course of his reign of terror, the Golden State Killer committed at least 120 home invasions, 64 sexual assaults, and 13 murders, some of which involved entire families, including children. Even with piles of evidence, fingerprints, footprints, stolen rings, composite sketches, investigators couldn't catch him. He was too careful, too elusive, and when he taunted the police and victims' families with phone calls, daring them to catch him, he still managed to slip away. For 40 years, he remained a ghost, his case growing cold. But then in the 2010s, science finally caught up with him. DNA technology had advanced far beyond what investigators had in the 70s and 80s. By 2016, authorities had DNA from his crime scenes, but it wasn't in any law enforcement database. That's when a distant relative of the killer submitted a DNA test to a site like 23andMe. That data was uploaded to a public genealogy site called GetMatch. When the authorities ran the killer's DNA through the system, they didn't get an exact match, but they found something close, a distant relative. From there, genealogists painstakingly traced the family tree, linking over 1,000 people. On April 24, 2018, the hunt finally came to an end. Joseph James D'Angelo, a 73-year-old Vietnam War veteran and former police officer, was arrested at his home in Citrus Heights, California. The Golden State Killer, who had been hiding in plain sight for decades, was finally caught. One eerie detail about D'Angelo's past stood out. Back in 1979, he had been caught shoplifting a hammer and dog repellent. At the time, it seemed like a minor crime, but in hindsight, it was clear he had been preparing for another attack, trying to keep his purchase untraceable. In July 2020, after decades of terror, Joseph D'Angelo faced justice. He pleaded guilty to 13 counts of murder and 13 counts of kidnapping in exchange for avoiding the death penalty. The court sentenced him to 13 consecutive life terms without the possibility of parole. He now sits behind bars in a California state prison, where he will die. The chilling phone calls he made, the ones that sent shivers down his victims' spines, remain some of the most haunting audio recordings in criminal history. They serve as a grim reminder of the fear he instilled in an entire generation. But in the end, the man who once thought he was untouchable was finally caught, and this time, there was no escape. We headed over to the United States, where a police officer's body camera recorded a heart-stopping rescue. After a horrific car crash, a woman and her child were trapped inside the wreckage, both clearly panicking and unable to get out.
We just had 1050i, 411 at the loop. Send everybody. Yeah, we got a fire. Van's on fire.
Realizing how urgent the situation was, the officer didn't waste a second. He smashed the car's windows and immediately called for backup, knowing time was running out. It was a race against the clock, and his quick thinking saved lives. Just moments after getting the mother and child out of the car, it erupted into flames. It's chilling to think about what might have happened if he hadn't acted so fast. You've probably heard the buzz that AI is out to get humanity. They could eventually wipe us out. But this next story might make you rethink that fear. Picture this. A girl is trying to climb onto a shelf that's clearly not built to hold her weight. The shelf starts tipping, and it's about to come crashing down, potentially trapping her underneath. But here's where the real hero comes in, an AI robot standing nearby. The robot quickly scanned the situation, predicted the shelf was about to fall, and took action, just like any person would if they saw someone in danger. In a split second, it moved into position and prevented the disaster. It's a pretty remarkable moment, showing how AI can save lives when it's working for us. But of course, this kind of technology brings up some major questions too. How much personal data does AI collect to perform these kinds of actions? And is the trade-off worth it, giving up some privacy for the safety and convenience these systems provide? Dramatic footage captured the heart-stopping moment a truck smashed through a bridge's guardrail, leaving it dangling over the edge, with the driver still trapped inside. Sydney Thomas, a 26-year-old trucker, had little time to react when a pickup truck in the opposite lane suddenly swerved toward him to avoid a small car. In a split second, he jerked the wheel, sending his massive vehicle slamming into the bridge's railing. The impact was so intense that the front half of the truck plunged through, leaving only the back half clinging to the bridge. As Thomas sat there, frozen in fear, the hood of his truck suddenly snapped off, tumbling into the river 100 feet below. Rescue teams in Louisville, Kentucky wasted no time. Firefighters arrived and carried out a daring technical rescue, rappelling from the bridge to reach Thomas and hoist him to safety. Breakups are tough, but most people don't expect them to take a deadly turn. Unfortunately, that's exactly what almost happened here. The video kicks off with a woman standing at the counter of a restaurant, waiting for her ex to come out. As soon as he does, she pulls a weapon on him, sending him rushing into the kitchen for safety. What makes it even scarier is that, as the confrontation unfolds, she's trying her hardest to pull the trigger, but the weapon won't fire. Her ex has no idea though, and the tension keeps building. In the end, he manages to wrestle the weapon away from her, and the fight spills out from the back room to the street. This guy was incredibly lucky. She, on the other hand, not so much. On March 2, 2013, an anonymous user posted a creepy story on 4chan about a strange radio broadcast he experienced as a teenager, something that had haunted him for years. He wrote, "I recorded this creepy audio file when I was a child, and I've always been curious about it. Back in 1994 or 1995, I made this tape, and after freaking myself out, I promised I'd never copy it, but it's been sitting in the back of my mind and my desk drawer ever since. I just want to know what happened." The user explained that in the mid-90s, when he was about 15, he used to stay up late in his room, listening to the radio on a boombox with a built-in tape recorder. He would tune into different stations, record anything that caught his ear, and move on. One night, he stumbled upon something odd. He didn't think it was the start of the broadcast, but it was unsettling though. Toward the end, he caught the station's call sign, WKCR 89.9, a station in New York. The post came with a link to the eerie audio file, which started off normal enough, a 1993 song by Billy Cobham, before it took a wild, terrifying turn. About 16 seconds in, the audio transitioned abruptly from the smooth jazz of Cobham's music to a violin section from a classical piece, Golden Sonata by Henry Purcell. And then, without warning, the sound morphed into a bone-chilling high-pitched scream, sharp, frantic, and deeply unsettling. But that was just the beginning. After the scream, the audio shifted again, this time to the sound of a woman taking slow, deep breaths. These breaths repeated a few times before the woman's voice began whispering a strange list of names and dates, her voice growing eerier with each repetition. The names seemed random at first, but further investigation revealed that they were taken from obituaries. Two names stood out: Frank Oppenheimer, brother of J. Robert Oppenheimer, the atomic bomb creator, and Barry Joseph Valentino Jr., one of the victims of the 1988 Pan Am Flight 103 bombing. Despite their notoriety, there seemed to be no connection between the names, except that they were all deceased. After repeating these names for a while, the broadcast abruptly returned to normal with a regular call sign announcement.
You're tuned to WKCR-FM New York, 89.9 on your dial. Colombian music is running a little late. It will be starting in a few minutes.
The post sparked mixed reactions. Some users were deeply disturbed by the audio and the chilling story, while others doubted its authenticity, thinking the OP had made the whole thing up. But what happened next added even more intrigue. After receiving requests for the full audio, the OP uploaded it to YouTube under the name The Ravenmouth. A quick search revealed that the user had a Reddit account with the same name. Just a few weeks after his 4chan post, Ravenmouth shared the same radio hijacking story on the No Sleep subreddit, a community known for unsettling but fictional stories. However, near the end of this post, Ravenmouth added a new and disturbing twist. He wrote, "Unfortunately, and for this I sincerely apologize, it never ever stops. I told you that was just something I had found, and I swear to you, that's true. It really did happen that way. But it's more than that. You'll understand soon when that keening sound rises up like it's crawling out of your spine and into your skull. You'll realize that the woman is reading your name, new names. You'll play it for your friends, your family, add their names too. I hope that if I make the list long enough, maybe mine will get taken off. I'm sorry." This revelation raised even more questions about the authenticity of the story. Was the OP just trying to build an even creepier tale for his Reddit followers? Given the added details in the creepy apology, many people believe Ravenmouth had exaggerated the story for effect. He even admitted that while he embellished parts of the Reddit post, he still swore the original radio hijacking experience was real. Could WKCR have actually been hijacked by someone? Radio hijackings were unheard of at the time, but WKCR is a college-run station, and when contacted, the staff said, "As far as we know, this did take place on WKCR airwaves." However, in terms of it being a hijacking, that's very unlikely. WKCR has some very strange programmers. It was probably just a late-night DJ having some fun on the mic. So, was this really a creepy hijacking, or just an artsy experiment by a college student? The most likely explanation is the latter. Ravenmouth's story, while spooky, was probably just the result of a late-night radio broadcast gone off the rails. But of course, we'll never know for sure whether it was a prank, an experiment, or something stranger. The mystery of the WKCR hijacking remains unsolved. This is the terrifying moment a massive king cobra launched an attack on a woman while she was just trying to cook dinner. 50-year-old Tin was outside her home, casually stirring durian in a gas-powered wok, completely unaware that danger was slithering her way. A 12-foot-long black serpent silently glided across the driveway, inching closer with deadly intent. CCTV footage captured the chilling sight, the highly venomous cobra creeping toward her, its hood slightly flared, ready to strike. With enough venom in a single bite to kill a person within an hour, this was no ordinary encounter. And the scariest part, Tin had no idea it was behind her. On May 16, 2023 in Polk County, Wisconsin, Deputy Dean McManus was called in to check out a suspicious red vehicle cruising around a campground. When he finally spotted it, he pulled the driver, Ballard, over, not just for acting sketchy, but also because the car had an insanely loud exhaust and the wrong license plates.
Hey there!
I got light in my eyes, we're gonna have a problem.
What's going on?
What do you want?
Well, one, your exhaust is loud.
So what?
Two, these plates don't match this vehicle.
So what? What are you harassing me for?
Well, we've gotten calls on you about being in a campground. I was just curious what you're doing out there.
Okay. Alright. What's your badge number?
My badge number is 919.
Okay.
Can I see some ID, please?
You got no business? Pull me over.
Well, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. You have a loud exhaust.
Doesn't matter.
And the plates don't come back on this vehicle.
So you just go around running everybody's?
When I feel like it, yeah. Yeah.
That's not
Why don't you give me your ID?
Yeah.
Give me your ID.
Ballard.
Give me Why?
Loaded.
Huh?
Ballard.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So why won't you give me your ID? I didn't hear your name.
Ballard.
Ballard, again, that's your name? Okay. Is your driver's license through Wisconsin or Minnesota? I'm just curious. I kind of got to know so I know who you are.
County 3143.
Well, I need to know where your ID is out of so I can run it properly.
Good.
I know how to.
Gina's coming back
Do
now.
ya?
Take it out.
I've been doing this since before you were even a police officer.
Okay. Why, causing issues?
Yeah, because I'm causing.
Well, I don't know why you...
Away from
I don't
my
know why
truck,
you
dude.
can't give me your ID.
I told you my name, dude. Away from my truck.
Gotcha. So your first name is what again?
Ballard.
Ballard? I'm just trying to understand.
Do you understand now? Ballard?
Okay.
Things escalated fast. Dispatch informed McManus that Ballard was already on probation for eluding an officer, criminal damage to property, and felony bail jumping. To make matters worse, probation officers decided right then and there that they'd be issuing a warrant for his arrest.
What's that for? You're not getting ready right now. No. So, you're still detained. You are not free to leave.
Why?
I'm not going to explain it to you right now.
You are?
I'm not.
Yeah, you are. Why?
You're not free to leave.
Why?
So, hang out here
No, you're going to tell me why.
for the same reasons I told you before.
Why?
You don't have a driver's license. You don't have insurance on this.
I have a driver's license, mother. Look it up.
So, you are still detained. You are not free to leave.
County
I've been here
911.
for an hour, mother. Get your supervisor.
I'm getting my delayed hits on the night.
You are not free to leave.
I'm not leaving.
10-4, it is for him. I'm getting delayed.
I don't know if it was Hunter or not, but probation
I'll
has
take probation from where?
Wisconsin.
Where? Where in
The
Wisconsin?
state of Wisconsin.
Where in Wisconsin?
It doesn't matter. Probation is
You're a lying
probation.
ass. Did you have to tell me where the I'm on probation from?
You're out of probation in St. Croix County.
Okay.
The warrant is issued in the state of Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Wisconsin is also who officer too. Not just you. Okay.
Supervisor's on the way, but right now you are under arrest. So I need you to understand that. So I don't want to make this any bigger of a situation than it needs to be. And a part of that is I would appreciate some cooperation.
You're not getting no cooperation. You have no reason to even pull me over.
Surprisingly, Valor didn't put up much of a fight and was taken to Polk County Jail without much drama.
You Talk to me like that.
Okay, you're under arrest. Take anything out of
I
there.
said I was coming out.
Well, you now have to come out right now.
Yeah,
you are under arrest.
Your reasons are the reasons I have a warrant. I wasn't doing nothing wrong.
Don't care.
Yeah, I know
you have a warrant
you
for your
don't.
arrest. So you can open the door. We're gonna break
You. I'm getting out. But you.
Okay.
Get your out of my face.
It's not gonna happen. Out now.
Get your out of my face.
Out.
I am. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. I am.
That's the last time I'm gonna tell you. You ain't telling me. Oh, trans money back?
In the end, he was found guilty of non-registration of a vehicle, failure to maintain an exhaust system, and driving without a valid license or insurance. The judge slapped him with over $750 in fines, and when he failed to pay, his license got suspended. Now let's head to China, where a rescue operation in an apartment building took a shocking twist. What started as a typical rescue mission, getting people out of a stuck elevator, quickly turned into a dangerous situation. One man had just stepped out when out of nowhere, the elevator jerked back to life. He barely escaped being pulled back inside, managing to yank his foot out just in the nick of time. That was a close call if there ever was one. This wild video was captured by a group of skydivers mid-stunt, performing in a massive formation. Nobody knows exactly where or when it happened, or even who originally filmed it, but it quickly made the rounds on social media. While details are scarce, a few key facts help clear up what went down. At first, everything looked smooth. The skydivers have deployed their parachutes and are gliding in perfect sync. But as with most things, it only takes one mistake to turn a cool moment into a complete disaster. One guy with a white parachute suddenly collides with another skydiver in formation. The impact sends them both into a tangled mess, and within seconds, the entire formation is in chaos. But the scariest moment? Toward the end of the video, one of the divers slips right out of his harness, free falling at full speed. It looks like a straight-up death sentence, until it's later confirmed that he had a backup chute that thankfully saved his life. Watching this footage is enough to make anyone second guess ever jumping out of a plane. What do you think? Would you still try skydiving after seeing this? Let me know in the comments. A motorcycle tore through the streets of residential Los Angeles at over 120 miles per hour, turning an ordinary afternoon into a scene straight out of an action movie. But this high-speed joyride came to a violent and tragic end when the rider slammed into a car at an intersection, launching him hundreds of feet through the air.
Certainly is aggressive and dangerous and just total disregard for the public safety.
He didn't survive. According to the LAPD, the motorcycle had been reported stolen. An officer initially attempted a traffic stop, but when the rider took off, police opted not to pursue, knowing a high-speed chase could put innocent lives at risk. Unfortunately, that didn't stop the inevitable. The crash left the two people inside the car injured, though thankfully their wounds were life-threatening. As for the neighborhood, at least one local resident wasn't shocked at all. According to him, reckless driving like this is nothing new in the area.
I hope people learn from that, and slow down.
In February 2016, something bizarre started happening in Forest Grove, Oregon. A strange high-pitched noise began echoing through the city and the surrounding wilderness, sending residents into a frenzy. The sound was unsettling, shrill, piercing, and completely unpredictable. It'd blare for a few minutes at random times throughout the day, and often late into the night before vanishing, only to return hours later. But what really freaked people out was how quickly it spread. Before long, the entire city was on edge. People began flooding emergency services with calls, reporting everything from sleep disturbances to actual physical discomfort caused by the noise.
It's happened twice tonight. It's happened about 5 times during the last 7 days, and the neighbor beside me, we can't even hear each other in the backyard. Neither one of us can figure out what's happening.
By the end of February, authorities had received over 200 reports, but no one had any answers. The biggest question on everyone's mind was simple. Where the hell was this noise coming from? One of the first theories was a gas leak, something that could, in theory, create a loud, eerie sound. But that idea was quickly dismissed when the Northwest Natural Gas Company stepped in. If there had been a leak large enough to cause such a commotion, they would have detected it already. Plus, gas leaks tend to sound more like a roaring jet engine, not the screeching wail that had been tormenting Forest Grove. And then there was the fact that no one reported smelling gas. A dead giveaway that this theory didn't hold up. Next, some speculated that it could be air escaping through manholes or sewer lines. But if that were the case, why had this only started happening in February 2016? Sewer systems don't just randomly start making deafening noises overnight. The fire marshal then put forward another theory: a malfunctioning air conditioning unit. Faulty systems can sometimes emit high-frequency sounds, similar to what residents were hearing. While this seemed plausible, no one could pinpoint a specific unit causing the disturbance. Other possible explanations ranged from construction equipment to a broken emergency siren, but tracking the source of the noise was nearly impossible. Residents reported hearing it from all directions, making it feel as if it were coming from everywhere and nowhere at the same time. And just as suddenly as it had begun, the noise disappeared. No explanation, no culprit, nothing. Now, more than 9 years later, the mystery remains unsolved. But if you had to bet on the most likely answer, it's probably the simplest and most disappointing one: prank. As the calls from distressed residents kept piling up, local police began taking the phenomenon more seriously. They put out a public warning saying, while some might find it comical, interesting, and mysterious, it's unlawful if it's being done on purpose. If this is the case, the individual caught will face possible repercussions. And just like that, the noise stopped. It was as if whoever was behind it realized the joke wasn't worth the trouble and decided to call it quits. Of course, this is just a theory. Unless someone comes forward with a confession, the true source of the Forest Grove noise will likely remain one of Oregon's strangest unsolved mysteries. In the next clip, we're thrown into the middle of a terrifying workplace accident at a paper factory. Watching the surveillance footage left me completely shaken. I'm not entirely sure what the machine was supposed to do, but the way it yanked a worker toward its moving parts was nothing short of terrifying. Thankfully, a quick-thinking colleague managed to stop the production line just in time, averting what could have been a disaster. That wasn't just a close call, that was a full-blown near-death experience, complete with a last-second brake check for added nightmare fuel. A Chicago police officer found himself in a bizarre showdown, chasing a coyote through the aisles of an Aldi grocery store, only for the crafty critter to take refuge inside a fruit and veggie refrigerator.
I see a coyote, really, like for real, like, yeah. I would have ran. Immediately out, I would have did that.
Just when he thought he had it cornered, the coyote pulled a fast one and jumped right back in.
I mostly see it in the suburbs, but we see like the possums and all that stuff coming out.
The whole thing was caught on video and quickly went viral. Livonia Brown, who was in the parking lot when police arrived, couldn't believe what she was seeing. Imagine being inside Aldi when that happened. Would you have bolted straight out the door? This all went down at the Aldi on Chicago Avenue in Kedzie earlier in the afternoon. Witnesses say the coyote casually strolled in through the front entrance, likely wandering in from the nearby metro train tracks.
So it had to come from the train tracks because we get all kind of stuff come around through here.
Apparently, wildlife sightings aren't all that unusual in the area. Eventually, animal control stepped in and safely captured the unexpected shopper. Officials say January through March is peak coyote mating season, which means more sightings and increased activity. While coyotes typically aren't a threat to humans, authorities still advise keeping your distance, because you never know when one might decide to do some grocery shopping. A diner casually raises his hand mid-meal, calling his waitress over to point out a hair in his food. Seems like a typical complaint, right? While the restaurant's management wasn't convinced.
It's not your typical hair in the food because you could see it was just all over the top of it, and he had ate most of the food out from under this wad of hair.
Suspicious of the claim, they checked the surveillance footage at the Steel Coop restaurant in Livingston, Tennessee, and what they found was straight out of a sitcom. If you watch closely, you can see the reflection in the window. The woman reaches for the back of her head, pulling out what can only be described as a generous chunk of hair. She then hands it off to her boyfriend across the table, who takes a moment to inspect it, probably realizing just how much hair it actually is. Then under the table, he secretly tries to shake some of it off before planting the rest onto his plate. And here's the best part. After faking the whole thing, the guy keeps eating, like the food was that good. A little extra seasoning wasn't going to stop him from enjoying his meal. So what was on the plate? A full rack of ribs, the restaurant's specialty. When the manager realized what was going on, he ran outside to confront the couple, but just as he stepped out, he witnessed the most ironic twist of all. The man who was just caught on camera planting hair in his food was now down on one knee, proposing.
He's getting down on one knee. I was just like, hey, I got you on video, pal. What you did is despicable.
Hey, baby. Hey.
When a little cat found itself in a life or death situation on a busy Ohio road, an Ohio State Highway Patrol trooper stepped in to save the day.
You're okay, bud. You're okay. You're okay. It's okay.
The terrified kitty, clearly overwhelmed by the chaos, bolted straight for the trooper's patrol car, desperately looking for a safe spot to hide.
He's hanging. Come on. You gotta let go. All right, come on. Hot in there too. I know.
Trooper Katie Thomas, along with a good Samaritan, carefully worked to get the frightened feline out of harm's way.
We'll just put it in the back seat of my car. Here, I'll unlock it. Okay.
After a bit of coaxing, the cat was finally secured, but let's just say it wasn't thrilled about its unexpected ride in the backseat of a police cruiser. Unlike most passengers back there though, this one had done nothing wrong. The cat was taken to the Toledo Humane Society, where it was fittingly given the name Trooper. And in a heartwarming turn of events, Trooper was since found a loving forever home, safe, sound, and far away from any speeding cars. Reporters are used to going the extra mile for a story, but something tells me this guy would rather be covering a hurricane than what he's about to experience. This Action News reporter starts off strapped into Disney park ride, microphone in hand, casually interviewing the other passengers like it's just another day at the office. He looks pretty relaxed, probably because he has no idea that he's actually about to ride for real. When that realization hits, he delivers.
Beside me rather, is Josh Diaz. So this is your, first time doing this?
13.
13?
Yeah.
So you're kind of a pro with it?
Kinda, yeah.
Why do you keep coming back?
I love it, you know.
So we're gonna go ahead and have them kind of close the doors and they're gonna lift this up. There's gonna be some noise going around me. This is just part of the whole experience, but as you can see, this is what they call the gantry lift. I'm not sure if you can hear me well, but as you can see, the ride has already started. You hear the music that we've been talking about too, so. Now the doors are closing. Oh my God. Does it go any faster than this?
The moment the ride takes off, his calm composure is replaced with pure, unfiltered terror. He screams his way through every twist and turn while his co-anchors and fellow riders absolutely lose it laughing. Something tells me he didn't volunteer for this assignment, but gotta say, he definitely made it memorable.
Like regular speed? Okay.
Is that this?
Oh, wow, you can look out!
This is so cool! What happens if I push this car?
So dead. This is not right! We should not have done this! We should not have done this! Is it over?
What starts off as just another typical New Year celebration quickly turns into a dangerous situation. Those firecrackers meant to light up the sky pack a punch when they're mishandled. This one's a classic Karen moment, and it's clear she's been watching way too many TikTok rants. She starts by confronting a couple of drag queens, or maybe trans women, who by the way aren't doing a thing to bother her or anyone else around. But that doesn't stop her from making a huge scene, demanding her money back while hotel staff just try to keep up, trailing her as she rants and raves.
I think it's okay to pretend that you're a woman.
We were invited here.
You were invited here? Who invited you here?
The manager.
The manager thought it was okay to have men pretending to be women in front of children, even though we know there are boys that are having their penises cut off because they are effeminate, because they like wearing makeup, because they like having their hair styled like this, because they like high heels. Well, I want to talk to a manager. I want to know why this was allowed at this hotel.
Okay, miss, I'm a manager and we can talk about it on the side.
I paid to be a customer at a hotel where I thought you believe that women were real, that because you put on makeup, because you're wearing high heels, because you have a Barbie outfit on, that you don't think this is degrading? This is misogyny. And we have a hotel. If you give me back my money right now, I will leave the hotel.
Okay, let's go take
But
care
I'm not going to have my children come down from the 30th floor and see what's happening here.
Let's go take care of your reservation right now.
Yeah, no, this is completely degrading.
Okay, let's go take care of it.
Doesn't take long before she goes too far, and the video wraps up with her being arrested.
Man? Are you a man pretending to be a woman?
I'm not pretending to be anything. I'm just dressed.
What do you think about my son, who might think that he can put on makeup and put on fancy clothing and high heels and have his penis cut off? Degrading. I want to hear from the police, Jared. I want to know why I paid $3,000 to dress up like women.
Can't help but wonder, did she ever get that refund? On March 19, 2023 in Marshfield, Wisconsin, a troubling 911 call came through. A woman urgently requested police help but wouldn't share any details. In the background, a man could be heard shouting. Officers were quickly dispatched to the location, using the woman's cell phone signal to track her. When they arrived and knocked on her door, the woman, later identified as Kayla, answered. She told the officers she was in a hurry for work and didn't have time to talk.
Police department! Police department, open the door! Police department, open the door!
Hello?
Hey, this is Officer Clash, Marshfield Police Department, calling you.
Open the door!
Oh. What's going on?
I have to go to work.
Hey, can you just move
No, I have to go to work.
Okay.
I'm not willing to be late for work.
Okay, what's going on?
I have to. Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing. I have to go to work. I don't even know why you guys are here. Get away from me, please. You're making me feel. I want the chief of police here.
Okay.
Whoever the supervisor is, I want here.
Okay, he's coming.
Okay, I have to go to work. I don't have time for this, sir. I have to go to work.
So you called us.
No, I didn't. I don't know who called you. I did call you.
What's your phone number? Start with that.
603-85. I'm from New Hampshire. Well, I'm from Massachusetts originally.
Okay, so who's in the apartment with you?
Me?
Okay, who else?
Me?
Because there's someone else.
I have to get ready, sir.
Okay.
I have to go to work. I have to go to work.
We got a call.
Hello?
Hi.
Oh.
Okay. So that's the number that called 911.
I actually have two different numbers on my phone.
That's the number that called 911.
Oh, you're right. It was.
They needed some help.
Okay.
So that's why we're here.
I have to go to work, y'all. I have to go to work. I have to go to work. I have to go to work. I'm not talking to you. I'm not speaking to you. I have to go to work.
Who else is inside? Okay.
I have to go to work. You guys are going to cause me to lose my job. Please let me go to work. There's no one inside. Please let me go home. Please. I have to go to work. I have to go to work, sir.
When asked if anyone else was inside, she said no, but just moments later, her boyfriend appeared, thinking Kayla was in danger and stormed out, yelling with his fists raised. Police responded swiftly, tasing him, and Kayla was escorted to a squad car for further questioning.
Get on the ground. Get on the ground.
My baby's in there. My baby's in there. No, sir, I'm sorry. My baby. Guys, please.
Stop.
I'm not doing anything. Guys, baby, please. He's in the bathroom, guys, in the bathroom. Please go get him. No one,
I didn't do anything. I thought you guys were hurting my wife. I didn't do anything.
Officer! I can't breathe! You just tased my boyfriend for no reason!
You need to calm down. Let's take her outside. You're going outside.
No, I can't breathe it. No.
You're going to go up?
I can't. I
Let's go outside. I just tighten down when she was pulling my head. No, you are.
You! You!
I was arguing and the police got involved. I didn't do anything.
Brandon, your first name, right?
Yes,
Brandon,
sir.
all we had to do was talk about that, right?
Okay.
That's all we wanted to do when we came here. Can we sit you up?
Can you take the taser out of my leg, please?
We want to sit you up though so you're not laying on it, okay?
Guys, I didn't do anything wrong.
You came out tense up at us, man. You can't be doing that.
Come out with your fist.
I didn't leave my apartment. I did not leave my apartment.
You did, but you can't come out trying to fight us.
He just lost his job.
All right.
He just lost his job. I can't afford to lose my job.
She remained uncooperative, and as a result, she was arrested.
No, please. I have to
Put your legs inside.
Sir, I have to.
Put your legs inside.
I'm trying to talk to you like a normal person.
Put your legs inside the vehicle.
Please talk to me.
No, put your legs inside the vehicle right now.
Can you please talk to me?
No, put your legs
Can you
inside.
put the window down?
We can roll the window down.
Can I please be in the know? I want to know what's happening. Guys, please. I have to work. I'm under arrest?
Yep.
You're under arrest.
For obstructing an officer, first of all.
I'm going to jail?
No, you're not going to jail. You're under arrest right now.
I have to work at noon, guys. I can't afford to lose my job.
I'm sorry. You shouldn't have called 911 and...
I didn't do anything, sir.
Yes, you did.
So I'm going to lose the work at noon. Please.
Put your leg in.
Put your leg in, or you will go to jail. Put your leg in the car. You're going.
All right, no, okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Put your leg down, please.
Put your leg in the car.
Please put the window down a little bit.
Put your leg in the car.
It's just a little bit.
On December 1st, 2017, Reddit user Druddingen17 posted a question to the community, hoping someone could explain the terrifying screams he'd heard during a vacation. Along with his post, he linked to an audio recording that sounded eerily like a person screaming at the top of their lungs. In his post, Drudigan shared the unsettling details of the incident, recounting earlier that year, I went on a long road trip across the states, mostly checking out national parks in a few cities. Toward the end of the trip, my fiance and I stayed in the tiny town of West Yellowstone. It seemed like the perfect spot to base ourselves while exploring Yellowstone National Park. We booked a cheap, somewhat creepy motel just off the main street for a couple of nights. My parents took one room and my fiance and I had the other. He continued, on our first morning there, we had planned to wake up early, catch the sunrise, and hopefully spot some wildlife. Our alarms were set for 5 a.m., but around 4:45 a.m., I was jolted awake by a loud banging on our door, followed by crying and shouting. My heart raced as I jumped out of bed, thinking the worst had happened. I opened the door to find my mom, who was frantic. She said there's someone screaming, a woman screaming. The noise was unmistakable. Drudigan could hear the scream clearly, and it sounded like it was coming from somewhere within 100 feet of them. His mom claimed it had been going on for nearly half an hour, with no phone signal, no phones in the rooms, and seemingly no one else around. They were completely helpless. If this wasn't terrifying enough, things got even stranger when a police officer suddenly showed up. About 30 minutes later, after we'd been hearing the scream for about an hour, a police officer just appeared out of nowhere. He asked us what we were doing and why we were up so early. We thought he'd come about the scream, so we told him everything. He listened to the scream for a second, then sped off toward town. Eventually, the scream stopped, and they decided to continue their day, visiting the sights of Yellowstone. When they spoke to several park rangers and showed them the recording, the rangers were baffled. None of them had ever heard anything like it. That evening, they stopped by the sheriff's office to see if they could get some answers. But what followed was even more puzzling. The receptionist was unfriendly, and when she finally spoke, she closed the shutter in our faces. The same officer we had seen earlier was there too, and they both said the exact same thing. It was almost like a rehearsed line. Sorry, ma'am, but that was just an intoxicated woman yelling for her boyfriend. Drudigan couldn't make sense of this. I get that people can get really drunk, but not to the point where they just scream nonstop without saying a single word, he wrote. He found the whole situation incredibly strange, especially since they never heard any actual words, just endless screams. As for the source of the scream, many people have speculated that it was most likely a mountain lion. After all, Yellowstone is home to these animals, and their calls are known to sound remarkably similar to what Drudigan had heard. Still, there was something about the second round of screaming that sounded distinctly human, leading some to think maybe it was someone yelling back at the animal, perhaps trying to scare it away. But the mountain lion theory didn't quite add up. According to Drudigan, he never heard any cries for help or any words at all, just pure screaming. If it was a drunk woman, wouldn't she have shouted something other than just yelling for no reason? And if this was the case, why did two different officers give such a consistent explanation that seemed a little too perfect? Some people theorize that the officers might have been trying to keep tourists from getting spooked or were simply messing with the vacationers. But others think Drudigan might have stretched the truth. They pointed out that when he showed the recording to park rangers, they didn't say it was a human. They just admitted they had never heard anything like it before. Plus, when Drudigan mentioned looking up the screams on YouTube, he claimed not to find anything that could explain the noise. Yet, if you search "screaming in Yellowstone" on YouTube, one of the top results is a video from 2009 of a mountain lion scream. It's been over 7 years since Drudigan's original post, and he hasn't posted any updates. So whether the terrifying screams were the result of a mountain lion, a drunk woman, or something far stranger, we may never know the truth for sure. One thing is clear though, those screams left a lasting impression on anyone who heard them. Next, we find ourselves in the Middle East, where pure chaos unfolded on the streets during a terrifying traffic incident. A huge truck, reportedly hauling an insanely heavy load, lost its brake as it neared an intersection. With no way to stop the disaster from happening, the driver was powerless. People on the streets panicked and scrambled for safety as the truck overturned, turning the scene into complete mayhem. While the full scope of the damage hasn't been confirmed, the sheer terror of that moment is something no one who witnessed it will ever forget. On June 21, 2022, officers were called to St. Mary's Hospital in response to a reported battery that had already taken place on the property. The security guard who had been monitoring the room's camera told the officers that he saw a woman repeatedly slap a man on the head 5 times, all while their 1-year-old child was present. The guard's account was also backed by a nurse who had witnessed the incident. However, the security guard explained that he couldn't show the footage without a warrant, so the officers couldn't directly view the video. Still, they collected all the necessary information about the man, the woman, and their child before heading to speak with the family.
So we're kind of in a pickle here.
Okay.
Technically, I can't show you the video without a court order.
Shut up.
But
Okay.
Okay. Well,
I'll let you see it because I know you need to.
So let's not do that. I appreciate you being upfront about the whole court order thing. Let's not get anybody in trouble as far as showing me the video. What I will do is I'll go in there and I will speak to them. You said that you witnessed her hitting him, correct?
Oh yeah, she hit him a minimum of 5 times.
Okay. Open hand, closed hand. What are we talking?
Open hand.
Open hand. Cool.
First time she walked by, it was a straight open hand to the side of the face.
Mm-hmm.
The next time she walked up, and it was 4 or 5, both hands.
Okay. So here's what we'll do. Since we have witness testimony, that will be enough to at least have. If we need to go the route of obtaining that, then we will fill out the search warrant. No need for now, thank you. We'll go that route. But I appreciate you being willing to show me, but let's not get anybody in trouble, especially with this being a family violence issue. It's definitely going to go to court and stuff.
The officers knocked on the door and asked to speak with the woman outside. She explained that she and her husband were in the middle of a divorce, were sitting together in the room with her child when her husband received a phone call from another woman. This upset her, and in her anger, she slapped him 5 times on the head. When asked if this had happened before, she admitted that it was the first time she had physically lashed out at him. She claimed she was overwhelmed with emotions and a lot of stress at the time.
So we got a call because people were concerned. The camera feed from the room shows you hitting your husband 4 or 5 times in the head. Is that husband?
we're going through a divorce.
Okay, so husband, ex-husband-ish? Okay. Shows you hitting him in the head 5 times with an open hand. What's going on in there?
Well, a lot. We're going through a divorce. He's just talking to other girls. A lot.
Okay. What caused you to hit him tonight?
I just saw the girls was calling him.
Okay. You just saw something on his phone. You got upset about it. All right. How's your child doing? I know they said that she's just here for some coughing stuff.
Yeah, she's good.
Is she okay?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
The officers then spoke to the husband inside the room. His story mirrored his wife's. He received a call from another woman, which made his wife upset, leading to the slapping incident.
Is this the first time that she's done something like that? Is this a recurring thing?
We're going through a divorce.
I got you. That's what she told me. Let me get some of your information really quick. You have a really pretty baby, by the way. Hope she's feeling a little bit better.
Despite this, the husband insisted he didn't want to press charges. The officer took the time to explain George's family violence laws to him, outlining what would happen in the next 24 hours and answering any questions he had.
So here's what's gonna have to happen, right? So in the state of Georgia, family violence laws are very clear, right? She put hands, whether or not you want her to get in trouble for it, she put hands on you in an aggressive manner, and she did it in front of your child in a public setting to where other people have it videoed. Okay, so even if you don't want to press charges, she is gonna be placed under arrest for simple battery family violence. Okay, I know this seems like a very minuscule thing for her to be arrested for. It's a really big deal. Okay, she did it here in the hospital. She did it in front of your child. It's, you know.
I mean, I don't want to press charges yet.
I got you, and that's why I was explaining it's. So here's why.
right? The state of Georgia went ahead and put this into effect several years ago, that if we have a family violence relationship and we have evidence of things getting physical of a crime, then we make that arrest. Because say it was reversed, say you're in here hitting on her, she says, I don't want to press charges, I don't want to press charges. Worst case scenario, y'all go home, things get worse. And it could be that way with you as well. If she keeps seeing things on your phone like that, things could escalate.
We don't live together or nothing like that.
I understand that. But due to the fact that y'all technically right now are married, even though you're going through the divorce, you do have a child together, those two right there, and you've lived together, I mean, that's three family violence relationships right there off the bat.
When can she get out?
And she's going to go with me tonight, and then first thing in the morning, she's going to either sit in front of a judge or teleconference a judge, okay? Alright, so we'll just go ahead and head outside.
Okay.
I'm not going to, you're being cooperative, I'm not going to put you in handcuffs in here.
I'm so sorry.
But I'll explain more as to why this has to happen when we get outside, okay?
Okay.
Ultimately, the woman was arrested and charged with simple battery, family violence, and cruelty to children, 3rd degree. It's only January 8th, but we might have already found a new contender for the title of this year's biggest security guard screw-up, taking over from the infamous Brian Vinegar. This guy is clearly desperate to play cop, even pulling out a taser on the guy sitting in his own car.
So here's how it's gonna go, man.
I'm trying to leave, bro.
What the deal is?
I'm trying to leave.
Oh, cool. So now you're willing to hear me.
I'm trying to leave,
Okay,
man.
so here's how it goes, man.
I'm trying to leave,
You're
dude.
refusing to identify what unit you live in.
I'm trying to leave, dude.
And as soon as you're questioned about it, you're like, oh, I actually live here. Oh,
I do.
Now that they're actually going to do something, I'm going to decide to
I
leave
do.
property. So as far as we're concerned, you are not a resident of this property. If I see you on property again, you will be detained.
Okay.
If I see your car here, unless, again, I don't see any sort of permit. If I see your car in the parking lot again, it will be towed. You understand?
No, I don't, but okay.
No, it will.
I hear you.
Okay. So are you going to come back to the property, or do
I
you
hear
understand?
you. I hear you.
You hear me? Awesome. Have a good night. Ask you one last time. Are you refusing to leave the property or identify your residency?
I'm about to go to the store.
Okay, so go. Get moving. If I see you back on property, you'll be detained. You do not live on property. You refuse to identify. And you're refusing to leave.
Who are you, dude?
Property security. It's what we're here for.
You haven't identified yourself.
I'm property security. I'm with Front Range Patrol.
I don't know.
33.
What's your name?
I don't have to give you my name. I'm not a
What's your
police
name?
officer. You don't pay my paycheck.
I don't have to
My
give you-
tax,
I don't
your
have to give
taxes
you- I
don't do
don't have to
nothing
give you
about
my
me. But
name.
your taxes have nothing to do with
I
me.
don't have to give you my name, dude.
Okay, so I'm asking you to step out of the vehicle now, man. I'm not going to do this with you tonight.
You're going to open my vehicle?
Absolutely. You're on private property. You're refusing to identify, and you're refusing to leave private property. Okay, what unit?
I live here.
What unit?
I live here.
So I can advise property management.
Who are you, dude?
Who on their property is acting like
Who
an
are you,
absolute
dude?
child. Making threats.
Making threats?
Yeah, you told me, do you really want to do this right now? When I simply asked you to turn the music down and stop smoking in the parking garage.
I turned it down.
As far as I'm concerned, that's a threat.
I turned it down.
And I also advised you that you
Turn
need
it
to
down.
identify
And you
yourself.
and you open
or
my
at the
door.
very, because you're on private property.
No, I live here.
I don't care.
I live here, dude.
I don't care. You will I've refused on several occasions.
Dude,
You've been asked several times what unit you live in.
I'm about to go to the store.
Well, it's too late for that now.
No, it's
now
not.
we're waiting for my partner.
No, it's not, dude.
Yeah, we are.
You open my door, man.
If Opie really does live here like they claim, they should definitely take this video straight to management, because something tells me they're going to run into this guy again soon. Some tourists in Southeast Asia seem to forget they're visiting another country and start treating it like their personal playground. Take this guy for example, a Dutch tourist who, after not getting the right amount of change, completely loses it. He starts hurling fans and other items around the bar, scaring the daylights out of the workers. And what was the grand total that set him off? A whopping 130 baht, about $3.80. Can you believe it? Carjackings are unfortunately a big deal, with around 35,000 attempted thefts happening every year in the US alone. But this one takes place in a Melbourne, Australia parking garage, and it's like something straight out of an action movie. A man in a red coat suddenly runs up to a white car that's backing out of a spot. Without hesitation, he pulls a weapon and points it directly at the driver, who understandably freaks out and backs right into a pole. But here's where things get interesting. Instead of freezing, the driver makes a split-second decision and floors it, speeding straight toward the guy. Completely taking control of the situation, it quickly becomes clear that the person behind the wheel isn't just any average driver. They're a professional stunt driver. They zip through the parking deck like it's their own personal racetrack, even managing to squeeze through a closing gate with a would-be carjacker hot on their tail. And as for the robber's plan, if he ever catches up, who knows? Maybe he's got a bit of a dog mentality, just can't resist a good car chase. Imagine being on a peaceful camping trip, the kind where you wake up to birds chirping and fresh air. But then one morning, you're jolted awake by strange low growls. You peek outside your tent and there it is, a massive bear just hanging around, looking for food. Now, what do you do? According to the camper in this exact situation, the key is to stay calm and avoid engaging with the bear. Honestly, that sounds like solid advice, right? But here's the catch. If the bear realizes you're inside the tent, things could get real messy real quick. Luckily for this guy, his tent is pretty well camouflaged, so he's able to quietly tuck back in and wait, hoping the bear loses interest and moves on. Talk about a close call. This video shows a brutal outburst on the streets of Liverpool where chaos quickly spirals out of control. A group of masked men goes head-to-head with riot police, throwing bricks and even plant pots in a violent clash. The riot was sparked by a misinformation campaign that falsely claimed a 17-year-old responsible for the deaths of 3 children at a Taylor Swift-themed dance class was Muslim. Things only got worse as the crowd escalated, jumping on police vans and even setting one on fire. Despite the heavy police presence, authorities struggled to regain control of the situation. What started as a protest turned into full-blown chaos. The robbery took place in broad daylight, right in the middle of a Sunday afternoon. One of the girls involved tried to shout for help, hoping to catch the attention of the police.
Give it to us! Help, help! Give me the phone now! You guys help her with the phone? Police! 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 Run! Get him off! Get off!
Fortunately, there were other people nearby who stepped in and helped handle the situation, offering some much-needed assistance in the chaos.
Goddamn coat. This is my mama coat for 10 goddamn years. Metro can't even give me out this phone, nigga. Metro can't even give me out this phone. Nobody can. They know I started doing a goddamn thing on this. Let me show you.
A clearly agitated man strides into a parking lot, gripping a heavy object in his hands. What happens next quickly spirals into a violent outburst, leaving shattered glass everywhere and onlookers frozen in shock, unsure what's about to happen next. In Gary, Indiana, a young boy and his dad became real-life heroes when they rushed to save their family dog from the fury of an oncoming tornado. With winds howling, the duo ran straight into the storm, determined to get their dog out of harm's way. Ring camera footage caught the chaos unfolding as winds in the backyard picked up. A chilling story happened right in a man's bedroom. Unfortunately, incidents like this are happening more often than we'd like to admit. Despite all the advancements in rechargeable battery tech, this kind of accident serves as a harsh reminder that danger can pop up when you least expect it. So next time you plug in your phone, take a second to think it over and be a little extra cautious. In late September 2024, Hurricane Helene tore through the East Coast, and while most hurricanes weaken once they move inland, this Category 4 storm proved to be anything but typical. The Appalachian Mountains took the brunt of it, with some areas getting hit the hardest. This brings us to Alicia, who was living in the mountains at the time. With so much water rushing down the slopes, it acted like a funnel, dragging debris and mud with it. Alicia and her family found themselves trapped on the mountain with no way out, and they just happened to capture the exact moment everything went wrong.
Oh, shit. Get in the house. Oh, shit. Go, get Your truck going?
The video cuts off suddenly, but if you watch closely, you can see the mudslide coming straight for their home. Slowing it down makes it even more chilling, and you can really grasp how terrifying it must have been, especially knowing they had nowhere to go. By some miracle, none of them were injured, but the damage was undeniable. When they posted the video on TikTok, it quickly went viral, racking up over 30 million views. This brought attention to their situation and helped them start a GoFundMe, which raised over $40,000 in no time. With support from local volunteers, they began the long process of rebuilding. It's a reminder of just how unpredictable and devastating hurricanes can be. But hey, I'd love to know what you think about all this. If you're looking to make a viral video, all you really need are some clueless people and a weapon. Now, how this guy got his hands on a World War I era cannon is anyone's guess, but what we do know is that he had absolutely no clue how deafening the blast was going to be. The shockwave from that thing shattered every window in the house. Safe to say it's going to be a long, cold night on the couch for him, especially since his wife does not sound happy about it. On February 27, 2025, an attempted robbery of the National Guard Air Station in Salem, Oregon, took a tragic turn when it led to a fatal officer-involved shooting. It all began when 22-year-old Matthew Wong handed a threatening note to the station's guard, demanding immediate compliance. Senior Trooper Oxen Ryder, who was nearby training with his explosive detection canine, quickly responded to the scene. When Oxen Ryder arrived, he found Wong near an airplane monument and tried to engage with him. Wong, however, refused to remove his hands from his pockets and then revealed a knife.
Hey partner, how you doing? What's that? Could you go take your hands out of your pocket for me, please? No, you're not leaving right now. Hey, put your hands on your pocket right now. Do you understand? You want to get tased? Find the f***ing gun! I really don't Put the gun down! Put the knife down!
Despite repeated warnings and 2 attempts to subdue him with a taser, Wong charged at the trooper. In response, Oxen Ryder fired 2 shots, striking Wong. He later died from his injuries at the scene.
Right now! Put the knife down! Shots fired.
Copy, shots fired, 1515, is that you?
Yeah, send me medics right now. 2 shots fired, subject's down, knife in hand.
An autopsy confirmed Wong was hit twice with bullets passing through his arm and torso. Thankfully, no one else was injured during the incident. Here's a woman who clearly missed the memo that bad behavior doesn't earn you ice cream. Footage from a Dairy Queen shows a calm worker on the phone with the police while this angry customer goes off, demanding the ice cream she ordered.
It's not an emergency. Ice cream! You broke all the equipment. I didn't break. I did not break anything. You see all those cameras? I don't give about the cameras. Give me my ice cream I paid $11 for.
After a tense back and forth, the worker finally opens the register and gives her a refund, thinking that'd be the end of it. But nope, she decides to make an even bigger mess before storming out. Makes you wonder, do they serve ice cream in jail?
Tesla stock is way down, almost disastrously so. People...
You have Teslas lit ablaze, Molotov cocktails thrown at Tesla dealerships.
Is it just me? I sense like a lot of people cutting me off, driving real close.
Elon Musk's Tesla has become a major point of contention, especially as the billionaire continues to stir up controversy. Since Trump took office, Tesla stock has taken a nosedive, plummeting 50%, and sales, once sky high, have dropped, particularly overseas. Now investors are calling for Musk to step down, with some Tesla owners even thinking about selling their cars.
The company's reputation is just being destroyed by Elon Musk. And sales are plummeting. I think Tesla needs a new CEO.
It's really come as quite a shock to me that there's this level of really hatred and violence. I think we just have a deranged, there's some kind of mental illness thing going on here, because this doesn't make any sense.
Abby Berman, who lives in Venice Beach, California, says she got a creepy letter in her mailbox.
Hello, neighbor. Won't you please consider getting rid of your Tesla vehicle? The message you are sending at this point is, I am a Nazi too. I'm now nervous that my car is going to get vandalized, that somebody's watching me.
Arizona Senator Mark Kelly is one of those who decided to part ways with his Tesla, adding to the growing number of people moving on from the brand.
I think there are larger forces at work as well. I mean, I don't know who's funding it and who's coordinating it, because this is crazy. I've never seen anything like this.
Any woman will tell you that dealing with creeps is sadly an all too common reality. Thankfully, many women carry some form of self-defense to help protect themselves from situations like this. Take this video from New York, for example, where we see the aftermath of a gross encounter. The man in the blue jogging suit had the audacity to grope a woman, but she wasn't having it. She acted fast, spraying him directly in the face with mace. Even as he stumbles, trying to apologize and deal with the sting of the pepper spray, the woman isn't letting up. She's still threatening to spray him, showing she's not backing down.
Oh! What the happened?
The man trying to escape crosses the street, but she's right behind him, occasionally giving him another dose of mace for good measure. This is a woman who's done with being disrespected, so maybe next time, buddy, keep your hands to yourself.
Shit is crazy, bro.
I did not touch you. I'm sorry.
Now let's take a look at Indonesia, where an ordinary citizen captured the heartbreaking aftermath of a massive flood last August.
Mira, salió el agua ahí, vamos. Mira, 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 mira. No, 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 no,
The video is brief, but the devastation it shows is absolutely gut-wrenching. Whole towns were swallowed up by the flood. You can't help but think about the person who filmed it and what they must have gone through. The power of nature is a sobering reminder of how fragile everything is. If you're lucky enough to live somewhere that's safe from these kinds of disasters, take a moment to appreciate it. You're living in a kind of paradise. On February 14th of this year, an accident took place in Wyoming involving the Green River Tunnel, and it was captured in real time by a TikTok user named Top Holler. On that day, Top Holler was doing his usual delivery run, but when he reached the Green River Tunnel, he noticed a pile-up crash blocking the way. Reacting fast, he managed to wedge his truck along the side of the tunnel, narrowly avoiding hitting anyone. But what he didn't realize at the time was that there was a fire, and suddenly, both of his doors were jammed shut. What happens next is intense, so fair warning, the footage is disturbing.
Coming through a tunnel. I'm in a wreck. This is all the truck is on fire. I got to get out of here. Oh, oh,
Top Holler quickly kicks out his windshield, with screams echoing through the tunnel around him. As he looks back, the smoke pouring out of the tunnel is overwhelming. In what's likely a state of shock, he calls over the rescue workers, urgently telling them that there are still people inside.
I'm one of the very last ones, man.
Are you? What are you?
So the truck on front of me was on fire.
Okay.
That guy's dying in there. He's dead.
Okay.
It's burnt up.
Just hold on. What do you? We can't go in there right now, okay? They're getting fired.
That was a wild ride. Oh God. That guy's burnt up in there, man. My truck is next in line up here. It's on fire. TVA is my truck.
What is it carrying?
Just food, man. Just food.
It's good.
Yeah.
What's your truck carrying?
Oh, God dang it. I'm so screwed.
Sadly, the accident claimed the lives of at least 3 people, and 5 others remain hospitalized. This video stands out as the only known first-person footage of what went down in the tunnel that day. It's a haunting reminder of how quickly things can change, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this one. On the evening of Saturday, March 22, 2025, around 7 p.m., Alliance Patrol officers chased down 41-year-old William Wolf, who was wanted on multiple active warrants from Stark County, Carroll County, and Canton PD. Wolf had a long history with the law, including 19 open driver's license suspensions and a staggering 28 prior arrests, with 2 of those being separate pursuits with the Alliance Police Department. During the chase, which spanned across 4 counties, Wolf threw various objects at the pursuing cruisers in a desperate attempt to cause a crash. These included a tire iron, a bottle of chocolate milk, and even a knife.
Alright, we're going to be continuing 22. We're going to be heading down 14. 14 is going to be south. 14 south.
Just threw a tire iron at me. Just threw a tire iron at me.
Alright, we just entered Smith Township's jurisdiction, just passed over 12. continuing south on 14. Continuing south, just past Smith Coach. Speeds are 110.
48 headquarters, see if OSP has any units with spike strips to stop this thing.
Yeah, be coming up to 165, speeds are 100, track to 0. Headquarters, Goshen and Salem. Guys, be careful with this bridge up ahead. Be careful with the bridge.
Southbound, we're into Salem, we're into Salem.
I'm behind you, Tuss.
Copy. We're going westbound onto West State. Westbound onto West State.
I'm continuing westbound. So past Duck Creek, speed is 90, traffic light.
He's searching all over around the front. He just threw a chocolate milk at me.
OSP is trying to lay down spike strips in Damascus by Farmers Bank.
534.
He just got hit with spike strips and so did I. Take over. I just lost both driver's side tires.
So you have to stop.
I am.
Going to throw things at us from the car. Still southbound.
Hey, be careful. That was a knife you threw out.
Field now.
Watch
Through
out.
field now.
So, I'm not going to eject him yet. He's reaching.
He's coming to a stop. He's ready for the bail.
Hold on.
The pursuit finally ended when his vehicle was disabled by spike strips and he crashed into a road sign in a nearby field. Wolf now faces a list of serious charges, including felony fleeing, felony vandalism, felonious assault, possession of methamphetamine, and more. He's currently behind bars at Stark County Jail. Filmed in Zimbabwe, this tense moment starts with an armed man standing his ground against a furious female lion blocking his path. The woman filming, along with other tourists, nervously begins to retreat, but the lioness shows no signs of backing off. As the standoff drags on, the tension builds, and just when you think things can't get any more intense, the lioness does something that's guaranteed to send chills down your spine.
Uh-oh. Stand or walk?
Hey.
The video cuts off abruptly, but from what we see, it seems like the predator was just bluffing after all. Ever had that feeling like you were staring death right in the face? If not, this next clip will definitely give you a taste of just how fragile life can be. In the video, a woman narrowly escapes a deadly accident. Just think about how long it must have taken for her heart to stop racing after such a close call. She just survived one of the most terrifying moments of her life. What's your take on her incredible luck? When you think of safety, a church and its pastor seem like one of the last places you'd expect something dangerous to happen. But footage from Winnipeg, Canada proves that's not always the case. In this video, a man in yellow casually strolls up to the stage, and while it's a bit hard to see at first, he's actually holding a knife. He approaches the preacher trying to stab him, but thankfully he misses. Instead, the man drives the knife into the altar and then just walks to the back of the stage like nothing happened, sitting down calmly.
right there, feeling Let's go. Let's go.
It's terrifying to think about, but somehow no one was hurt. The 50-year-old assailant was arrested without incident shortly after. If you thought restaurant chaos was just a thing of the past, take a quick trip down to Florida where things got way out of hand at a Wingstop. The video starts with a woman getting into a heated argument with some workers behind the counter. It's clear this isn't going well, especially when the employee starts mocking her, only making her angrier. Before long, there are two furious customers yelling at the Wingstop staff, and one worker is doing his best to calm the situation down. But then it all takes a dark turn. The employee first sprays ranch dressing at the customers in a fit of frustration. Then reaches into the fryer and tries to throw hot grease at them. Unbelievably, there is no word on whether the worker faced any consequences. No news of him being fired or disciplined for the incident. Definitely not what you'd expect when grabbing some wings. Next up, we've got a terrifying incident in China involving an excavator. The footage really highlights how dangerous these machines can be when they're not handled properly. In this case, a woman came so close to losing her life. Watching it made my heart stop for a second. Honestly, the driver probably messed up by not lowering the excavator when they should have. What do you think? This one's absolutely wild, straight out of Oregon. It shows a man trying to steal a delivery truck while employees are in the middle of loading it up. The whole thing went down just before 4:30 a.m. on November 15th, when workers at Elephant's Delicatessen were busy loading food and supplies into the running truck. Surveillance footage shows a man casually strolling across the parking lot, then noticing the truck's running and thinking, why not take it for a spin? Right as one of the employees is pushing a cart of food to the truck, the thief hops in and takes off. Items start spilling out of the back as the truck speeds off. One of the workers managed to hang on for a few seconds before realizing it's smarter to let go. Luckily, the truck had a GPS tracker, so police were able to track it down. But even then, the thief didn't go down without a fight. The 29-year-old was arrested and charged with a long list of felonies, including attempted kidnapping. What a mess. What starts as a regular dinner quickly turns into chaos as the line between customer and staff disappears into madness, leaving the place in complete disarray. Imagine taking a few days off from work to just chill and recharge. You pack your bags, head to Miami, and settle on the beach, soaking up the sun. But out of nowhere, you notice a helicopter coming straight down, heading right for the sand. That's exactly what happened in February 2022, when a helicopter crashed onto a beach crowded with people. It was a terrifying moment, but fortunately, only 2 people were injured. They were rushed to a nearby hospital and, against all odds, survived the harrowing crash. This week, police in Texas reported capturing and removing an alligator that had somehow made its way into a family's hot tub. Talk about a surprise guest.
We're not grabbing him. We're not grabbing him. There we go. Good move. That's what it is. That was a good one. I got perfect. Boy, you better stop. You're so pretty. I'm gonna name you Emma. That's it. You better not.
A pool and spa company is offering a $1,000 reward after someone swiped a $14,000 hot tub. But here's the twist. The thief didn't actually take the tub by force. Instead, they used someone else's identity to get approved for a loan, and the company delivered it right to his doorstep.
He goes, please, 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 would just make her birthday great. So we jumped through hoops to do the deal.
The family-run business ran the man's credit, he was approved, and they rushed delivered his hot tub.
I had numerous conversations with this guy.
Text messages, too.
He's telling me that the decking is not finished yet.
Of course, our jaws hit the ground. We're going, you're kidding, we've already delivered that tub.
The store says the man used someone else's identity. They called the police, went to the house, but it was empty, and the $14,000 tub was gone.
Don't know how he moved it unless he had the equipment that we have.
Speaking of getting your lights knocked out, this hotel guest learned the hard way that trying to jump into the hot tub in the morning wasn't going to fly. His complaints were so intense that they had several officers posted around the tub, which to be fair is a little over the top. But things really went south when the man started filming the officers and got way too close to one of them. The result, a swift punch to the head.
Apparently you can't go in the hot tub at 6 a.m. They got 6 cops out here.
You're trespassing. You're not a guest of the hotel.
I am a guest. 160.
Hey.
Whoa! What the? I did not. Do not take my phone. Whoa.
After a few moments of chaos, his phone ends up on the ground, and before he knows it, he's being arrested for trespassing. If he's actually a guest at the hotel, let's just hope he at least managed to get a refund out of the whole ordeal.
Guys, you're trespassing. I'm not trespassing. I'm 160 Tanner Fox. I told you my name. What the f? You don't need to pull my arms. I'm cooperating, dude. What the f? I'm 160 Tanner Fox. I told you guys. So what am I being arrested for? You're being trespassing. I'm not trespassing, sir.
What room? You're not a guest.
So how are you going to let me go? Because I'm not trespassing.
What room did you say?
160 Tanner Fox. I told you guys 6 times. Please don't break my wrist. You see my arm. Stop turning. Stop turning.
Why? Okay.
I am.
You got to see space. Okay.
I walked up to him.
In Chicago's hood, New Year's celebrations take a wild turn with noise echoing from every corner. A man caught in the chaos quickly regrets staying out so late.
I'm just trying to go home. Damn. I'm just trying to get to the crib. What, he got a grenade?
Now stranded with no safe way to get home. Every street feels like a danger zone, and the noise just keeps getting louder, leaving him frozen in uncertainty.
I should have been in the house already, Rob. Why am I still outside? I supposed to be in the house. They dragging me. Oh, I can't go that way. I can't go that way. Oh, I can't go that way. I can't go.
Imagine lounging on the couch, a big bowl of popcorn in hand, ready for a relaxing movie night. It's the kind of evening we all know so well, but then something unexpected happens. While you're watching a film, you suddenly spot something that makes you pause. What looks like a real UFO appearing on the screen. That's exactly what happened to a viewer named Ocean Swim in late 2024. He was watching Niagara, a 1954 movie directed by Henry Hathaway, when he noticed something strange during a particular scene. Take a closer look at this part of the film. Did you catch it? If you really pay attention, you'll see what seems to be a UFO in the lower left corner of the shot, flying alongside a helicopter. It's honestly pretty wild and raises more questions than answers. Ocean Swim pointed out that this film has nothing to do with UFOs or aliens, so it's highly unlikely that the filmmakers intentionally included it. So what's going on here? Could this old film actually show footage of a real UFO? And if it's not a UFO, what do you think it could be? An officer arrived at the scene and found a man standing outside. After checking his body, the officer handcuffed him. The man explained that he had been arguing with his wife when she slapped him in the face. As the officer escorted him to the police car, they continued talking.
Well, I'm gonna figure. I was just okay. So we got a call that both of y'all were fighting and choking each other.
No, she was hitting me in the face.
Okay.
And grabbing my face and shit, which is alright.
The man mentioned that they had gone to the hospital, where the news was a mix of bad and good. The bad news was that his wife had broken her hand, but the doctors said there wasn't much they could do because it had been broken before, which upset her even more.
What was it over?
A bunch of shit, man. So we got bad news lately about her thyroid, because she's my wife. We went to the hospital. We actually got good news, but bad news about her hand. They said it wasn't broken, but there was nothing they could do about it. It was broken before. So she got upset about that, and all kinds of stuff happened. I had to pull off on the side of the road because she wouldn't put her seatbelt on. I wouldn't move until she put her seatbelt on. I don't want to pay a ticket.
Alright, let me talk to her real quick. Slide in there for a second. And then I'll come talk to you, okay?
At that point, the wife showed up at the scene. The officer reassured her that her husband wasn't under arrest. She replied there is no reason for this, insisting that it was just a verbal argument, no physical contact involved.
Yeah, I'm just.
Put him in the car?
Yes, relax for a sec. He's not under arrest right now. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on.
There's no reason for this. We were in an argument. There was no, physical contact. It was just verbal.
Why is your face red?
What?
Your face looks a little red. Like you got a mark right here on your neck.
Stop. It's not anything.
Okay. What if I have witnesses that say otherwise?
You don't have witnesses.
Okay. I mean, we didn't just show up for no reason.
Hey, I get that, but can you guys just let us go? It was just a...
I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
It was just... There was nothing there. It was honestly just a misunderstanding. That's it.
Okay. What were y'all arguing over?
I found out today that I have cancer.
Okay. So that's stressful.
And we're just really stressed out about it.
That's completely understandable.
I'm just trying to deal with things, and I'm probably not dealing with them very well, and it was my fault.
Okay.
It had nothing to do with them. I'm just really upset about, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you find out you have cancer, it's kind of a thing.
So, help me understand. Obviously it escalated at some point.
Right.
Okay. Why are people saying it got physical? Like that y'all were trying to choke each other and stuff like that?
Because of the keys, probably. The keys? We were not out of this car.
Were y'all fighting?
So it was fighting over the keys.
Y'all ever
it's just I've been super stressed when we found out today that I have it and everything. It was just a lot.
I understand that. And he said you've been drinking a little bit, so that probably that probably didn't help.
When you find out you have cancer, you kind of want to drink, right?
I get that.
Yeah, I have it.
Okay.
I don't know how bad it is, but I have it.
She continued to deny that anything physical had happened.
It's just a really stressful day.
So
there's nothing.
Hear me out. So he never put his hand on you?
No, he did not.
You never put your hand on him?
No, it was not like that. The only thing that I can tell you is the keys. When we were, you know what I mean? When we were doing this with the keys, that's it.
After a few moments of back and forth, the woman stuck to her story and tried to leave, but the officer restrained her and put handcuffs on her.
Freaking husband out of the car. You have no right
So what
to
Okay.
keep him in the car.
So listen to me.
No.
We're trying to figure out what happened, okay?
I already told you what happened.
Okay, so you have two choices. You can go back over there, or I'm going to put you in handcuffs and put you in his car.
Put me in handcuffs.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Go. No,
Let go.
Let
go. Let go. Let go.
I'm sorry.
Put your other hand. Put your other hand. I did give you a chance. Got her. Well, that makes it easy.
God damn you, assholes! I said I was sorry. I said okay.
And I gave you a chance to walk back over.
I said okay. God damn it! No!
Huh? Is there pressure around her arm?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to take off. Chill out. Chill out. You will get sprayed. Stop.
She resisted for a while, but eventually she was placed inside the police car. In the end, she was arrested and charged with simple battery, domestic, and obstruction of justice for resisting the officers. In a shocking case that has captured millions of eyes online, 18-year-old Jayla Cunningham has been charged with second-degree assault after an unsettling incident with a 15-year-old client. Jayla insists she had no idea her client was a minor, while the young girl's mother says her daughter is traumatized and deeply disturbed by the viral attention the video has garnered. To put it into perspective, the video has been viewed over 54 million times, and it's safe to say that the 15-year-old never asked for this kind of spotlight. So, what exactly happened in this viral footage? In the video, Jayla is seen dragging her 15-year-old client by her hoodie after the teen allegedly tried to leave without paying for a $150 service. Jayla claims the teen was trying to get away without settling the bill, which included a weave with tracks. To enforce the payment, Jayla reportedly cut the weave out of the girl's hair with scissors.
She ran, forget tried, she ran without paying me.
And then what did you do?
I dragged her by her hood back into the salon until I can get paid, or, until the police come, or until, she let me take out the service. Because it's like she literally ran outside like she was about to be gone. I feel like if I didn't do that, she would have been gone and I would have just never been paid.
But the teen's mother has a different story. She insists her daughter accidentally sent the money to the wrong Cash App account and was simply trying to correct the mistake.
It's just absolutely absurd. It's viral. It's all over the country.
And how is she dealing emotionally with this?
Emotionally, not good. Not good at all.
The family has hired a law firm, Jackson & Associates, to represent the 15-year-old in a civil lawsuit.
The video is horrendous. It's a 15-year-old girl. We're talking about someone's child here, a child who is being dragged across a salon floor by her jacket for over something as simple as a mistake.
Meanwhile, Jayla Cunningham, who says she wasn't aware of any charges against her until recently, is facing a barrage of death threats, forcing her to relocate her hair salon. Her first court appearance is set for April 18th. As for the 15-year-old, her family says she is receiving counseling to cope with the ordeal. When it comes to politics, DC can be a pretty brutal place, and this surveillance footage really shows just how far some people will go. A man is standing on the street waiting for his rideshare when out of nowhere a black car pulls up and someone hops out. At first, it might look like the guy is about to get attacked, but it quickly becomes clear that this isn't about anything physical. These people just wanted his jacket. The assailant, weapon in hand, demands the man hand over his $2,000 Canada Goose jacket, and just to make sure he gets everything, snatches his iPhone too. What's even crazier, this wasn't even the first Canada Goose robbery in DC that week.
It's unacceptable, by and large, that there's a culture right now in our city where this is happening. A lot of illegal things happen there. Firearm.
How are you feeling right now? I can only imagine.
Probably not as surprised as I should be, just given some of the things that I've seen being here in the city.
The next video had me scratching my head. A helicopter trying to take off right in the middle of the highway. It's one of those things that's hard to even imagine. Not much info is available about this strange event, but the footage really says it all. With the helicopter sitting smack in the middle of an intersection, it was only a matter of time before something went wrong. I'm sure the truck driver never imagined getting hit by an aircraft while cruising down the road. The following clips come from a deep, dark corner of the internet that honestly isn't to recommend you go down. They were uploaded by a guy named Kenneth Hassler, who is a pretty active Instagram, but he first made a name for himself over on TikTok. That was until he got banned, something that came after many people started calling him a serial killer hiding in plain sight. Why? Well, Kenneth would regularly post videos of himself dancing in his basement wearing a creepy mask to songs like Goodbye Horses from Silence of the Lambs, and if that wasn't unsettling enough, in some of his videos he'd show off his girlfriend, which, spoiler alert, is just a doll. This didn't help the growing belief that Kenneth was dangerous, especially considering he's pretty open about his dislike for women.
I could
could say 100%, every single negative aspect of my life, women are entirely to blame for.
Now, Kenneth claims that this whole persona is just an act, a bit he puts on for attention. He says it all started from how he was treated by women when he was younger. According to him, women would constantly call him creepy, which apparently led him to buy the doll and make these bizarre videos. One video, for example, is titled POV, I'm trying to mimic your screams in an attempt to become a more believable woman. Yeah, it's as weird as it sounds. But this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Kenneth's digital footprint. Most of what he posts is way too graphic to share here, but it gives you a glimpse into his unhinged mindset. Whether he's doing it all for attention or something darker, it's clear that his attitude toward women is far from normal, and it doesn't seem grounded in reality at all. Reading through his comments, he's well aware of the videos people are making about him, and honestly, it only seems to push him further into this disturbing online persona. Politics can be a real snooze fest sometimes, but this incident, totally different. At first, it looks like the lieutenant governor of Mississippi has just nodded off during a session, but the reality is he actually passed out from dehydration. Here's the wild part. The committee still had to officially motion for a recess to stop everything and get him some help. He did end up hurting his head, but thankfully he's expected to make a full recovery. Let's just hope no one tries to use that footage in their campaign ads anytime soon. Imagine taking a wrong turn that you can't fix. Well, that's exactly what happened in Redondo Beach, California, when a car somehow ended up crashing down an access stairway. According to KCBS, the driver lost control and the car got stuck halfway down the stairs. One local resident said he heard the whole thing go down in the early morning hours.
There was a loud bang, and I opened the window and just get my coffee, and I stuck my head out the window, asked the girls if they were all right. They said, yes, we're calling the police.
There were two women in the car at the time, and thankfully they were both taken to the hospital in stable condition. But here's where it gets wild. A crane had to be called in to pull the car off the staircase. The cause of the crash is still under investigation, but it's definitely one of those bizarre accidents that'll leave you scratching your head. On February 12th, a TikTok user named Kayla uploaded a video that quickly caught the attention of viewers. In her post, she was asking for help to make sense of what was happening in her home. In the video, you can see a young girl standing in her daughter's room, facing away from the camera. The strange part, Kayla and her daughter were downstairs watching TV at the time. She insisted that this wasn't some glitch or technical error, but rather one continuous recording. Check it out for yourself. If you watch closely, it does seem like one continuous shot. The timer doesn't skip or freeze, plus you can clearly hear the light switch flipping off, and then the figure seems to just vanish. Of course, some people in the comments suggested that this might be a malfunctioning camera, but it's Kayla's response to one particular comment that adds a whole new layer of eeriness to the situation. When a viewer asked, "Do any of your young ones look like that?" she replied yes, but she was downstairs and she keeps telling me her friend is gone. We were told that this was called a manifestation. Since then, Kayla has had the house blessed, but there hasn't been any word on what's happened next. You gotta wonder though, what was really going on in that room? Next up, we've got a spine-tingling dashcam clip. It shows a series of crashes on a bridge during some seriously rainy weather, where the roads are slick and dangerous. One driver had a lucky escape after crashing into the back of a truck, and watching that windshield shatter had my heart in my throat. Let this be a serious reminder: always keep a safe distance when driving, especially when the weather is bad. It could make all the difference. The Church of the Nativity is in Bethlehem. People believe it's where Jesus was born. A lot has happened there over the years, so it's not a stretch to think something strange might turn up. A video taken during Mass shows something weird. It happens in the grotto, the spot said to be Jesus' birthplace. You see a priest in a long black robe walk past a fireplace. Just before that, a shape shows up in the shadows. It looks like a small child or baby, then it's gone. Watch the clip. Look closely. Something's there. It's not light or smoke. It's shaped like a person. You don't have to believe in ghosts, but you have to ask, what else could it be?
Bruh. Oh, dog, his mouth's open. Bro, what is this? Look at that. Poke its neck. Neck, look. Oh! I got scared, I ain't gonna lie. Bro. Poke its body. Bro, what if he attacks me? Hey, look. Let me get that butt, boy. Ooh.
What in the world is that? At first, it looks like a simple branch, but when you take a closer look, you realize it kind of resembles a tiny giraffe. Small feet, super long legs. But just when the cameraman gets curious and tries to poke it, the little creature snaps at the branch, scaring him off. It's a good reminder that not everything out there is as harmless as it seems. Some things definitely bite back. Two women were caught in the middle of a heated argument, with one telling the other, "Don't tell me what to do." She explained she was just talking to her niece when the other woman interrupted. The girl, filming clearly amused, laughed and said, "I would hate for that to be my aunt." The scene only got crazier as the woman continued to throw a fit, cursing at the other woman as she stormed off.
Tell me what to do, motherfucker. I'm actually going to get out and talk to my niece. I can. We were simply talking, that's it. And you want to get all butthurt for what? So give me my refund, but you're going to give it to me so I can go about my business. I was just saying, hey, my niece. Like, it wasn't nothing serious. We were back there and joking around and nobody said nothing. So like, he just want to be a little petty bitch. So I'll be a little petty bitch too. Thank you. Have a good day. I'll see y'all later, kids. Love y'all. Damn. I would hate for that to be my aunt.
That's terrible.
Oh my.
In May of 2017, a YouTuber uploaded a video that captured a bizarre and intriguing find: an underground safe house. The video starts with the uploader standing in a long, dimly lit hallway. While exploring an industrial area, he spotted a strange concrete block with a metal gate. Driven by curiosity, he opened it and discovered a ladder leading down into a small, poorly lit tunnel that opened into what seemed like a hidden underground safe house. As the uploader ventured deeper into the space, he uncovered a maze of hallways and rooms filled with old furniture, random storage items, and stacks of papers. The largest room felt almost like a lobby, complete with bulletin boards and tables, leading to even more mysterious rooms. One of these rooms displayed newspaper clippings and old photos, while another had a table stacked with various toys. No one knows for sure what this place was used for, but it remains one of those eerie, unexplained discoveries that leaves you wondering about its history and purpose. Our next video takes us to a restaurant where everything is going smoothly until one of the chickens on the grill suddenly catches fire. You're probably thinking no big deal and just put the fire out, right? Well, this restaurant had a bit of a different plan. The problem? They didn't have any fire extinguishers on hand. At first, a lady tries to blow on the chicken, thinking she could put the fire out with a little puff, but instead of dying down, the flames only grow bigger. Things quickly spiral from there. Soon other items on the grill catch fire, and workers scramble. 2 huge cartons are now burning, and one guy just casually sets them down. What's maddening about this video is that no one seems to be taking the fire seriously. After a few moments, the guy just opens the door, pushes the flaming boxes outside, and goes back to trying to tame the fire on the grill, which by now is way worse. Then a lady grabs a water bucket and starts throwing water on the flames, which in theory seems like the logical thing to do, but here's the thing. Water and oil fires? Not a good mix. Water just sinks to the bottom, leaving the oil floating on top, which only makes the fire worse. You can see it clearly. This could have ended badly. What this place really needed was a fire extinguisher and honestly some solid employee training on how to handle these situations. A car races down the street, its passenger clinging to the hood, his gasps breaking the tense silence. He pleads for the driver to stop as the situation teeters on the brink of disaster. With every passing second, the danger only grows, more intense than the last.
Stay on! Stay on! Stay on! I will go to jail today, I promise you. Keep screaming. Yes, stay on! Stay on! Stay on! Stay on! Stay the on! Yes, hold on tight! I hope you are! Hold on! No! Should have got the my shit when I said.
Snakes are already enough to make anyone's skin crawl, but in Thailand, they've discovered something even more terrifying, a snake with fur. Yep, you heard that right, a snake with fur. As if regular snakes weren't creepy enough, this one comes with a layer of fur that just cranks up the nightmare factor. Oh, and to make it even worse, nature decided to give this creature 2 feet. That's right, this furry snake can climb stairs, meaning it could easily slither its way up to your bedroom without you even knowing. Picture it curling up in your blanket with that fuzzy body. Definitely not the kind of surprise anyone wants to wake up to. In this video, posted to YouTube Shorts, we see a guy just having a good time playing with his dogs, goofing around as any dog owner might. But things take a seriously strange turn when he heads to his room to grab some treats for them. That's when the bizarre stuff starts happening.
Sit. Good girls. Pow. Pow. Whatever. Let me get you a treat. Alright, wait. There it is. There you go. There you go. That was fucking weird. Okay.
Out of nowhere, one of the drawers in his bedroom begins to open all on its own. You can see the man's confusion clearly as he stands there, trying to make sense of it. In fact, another video on his channel shows something pretty similar. Check this out. He's walking up the stairs minding his own business when suddenly the door behind him slams shut. Now, there doesn't seem to be any obvious reason for it. No window nearby that could explain the door's movement. Then just 2 weeks ago, he posted a third video, this time while working from home. He said he kept hearing strange noises coming from inside the house, so he decided to set up his camera to capture whatever was going on. What happened next? It was pretty unsettling.
Hello?
So, what do you all think about these 3 videos? Is this guy living in a haunted house, or could all of this be part of some elaborate hoax? This scene straight up feels like it's ripped from a Grand Theft Auto game. You got a suspect on the run from the cops in his genius move, hiding behind a random car. The wild part is, it actually works. The officers pull up, but they have a hard time spotting him. Meanwhile, the guy controlling the helicopter is practically yelling at them to turn around. They eventually do, but they drive right past him and almost try to leave the scene. After a minute, someone finally gets through to them, and they come back around to make the arrest. Honestly, it's hard not to root for the guy, even if he was up to no good. At first glance, this video might look like something straight out of a movie, hallways flooding with water while someone desperately tries to escape. The only problem, this isn't some fictional scene. This is real footage taken in June 2020 at Norwood Hospital in Massachusetts. The heavy rains had flooded the entire place, and it was only a matter of time before the door gave way to the unstoppable force of water pushing against it. What followed was a chaotic, terrifying battle with nature's raw power inside a hospital where you'd expect safety, not disaster. A 3-year-old boy is being called a hero after he saved his great-grandmother's life. Little Bridger Peabody was spending time with his great-grandmother, Sharon Lewis, at her home in Colorado when disaster struck. Sharon fell down the steps by the back door, bleeding heavily and unable to get up.
I tripped over something and fell and hit my head on the concrete step.
He said, "Go get my phone."
Desperate, she tried to call 911 but realized her phone was in her car. In that moment, she knew there was only one person who could help her, her brave great-grandson. Without hesitation, Bridger sprang into action, running to get the help she so desperately needed, and in doing so, saved her life.
The light turned on, and then I can see very well.
Bridger climbs inside and grabs the cell phone. His great-grandmother is now recovering after getting 22 staples in her head.
It was a heart-stopping moment at the Novi Urengoy airfield in Russia when a plane skidded down the runway. According to reports, the left landing gear of the plane broke, making its landing anything but smooth as it veered off course. The icy conditions only made things worse, but the snow on the ground may have softened the impact a bit. In the aftermath, the prop plane ended up resting on its side, while crews worked quickly to dig it out. Authorities have launched an investigation to get to the bottom of what caused the accident. The next video is unsettling for one simple reason. It could have all been avoided if the person had just acted differently from the start. In this case, a homeless person was tossing rocks onto the highway, something that could easily lead to accidents, and sure enough, that's exactly what happened. Moments later, a motorbike hit one of the rocks, lost control, and crashed badly on the highway. The biker luckily seemed okay and even managed to get up and walk around. Thankfully, a car behind the biker quickly blocked the lane, preventing other vehicles from colliding with him. It raises an important question. Should the homeless person be held responsible for this? When popular TikToker Natalia Valenti and her friends decided to explore an abandoned asylum, they filmed the whole adventure for their followers.
Tipo, tem muita coisa ainda. O clima aqui é bem pesado, bem mesmo.
As they wandered through the decaying property toward the old morgue, the camera unintentionally captured something unsettling. Take a close look and see if you can spot it.
Os lados, que é bem escondido da La Rosa, que é onde o povo ficava, tipo, real presaço. Bom, a gente tá indo agora pro necrotério. Eu tô, tipo, agora eu tô com medo. Agora eu tô com medo, amiga. Olha isso.
In the footage, there are several eerie figures peering out from the broken windows above. They only appear for a brief moment, but when you slow the video down, you can make out their blank, almost zombie-like expressions. While some suggest these figures might just be homeless people who were drawn to the sounds below, it's still a chilling thought. What's even creepier is that no one in the group seemed to notice them as they continued exploring. Could these mysterious figures have been following them from the shadows the whole time? So, what do you think? Are these just people? Or is Natalia's video really capturing the ghosts of the asylum's past? Thanks for watching. Stay vigilant, friends.